Hey, my name is Annabelle. Welcome to my channel. I'm an overseas Chinese student studying in the Dalhousie University. Dalhousie University is a university located in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. I found that many international students like me or newcomers in Halifax are not so familiar with its history. However, I always believe that learning the local history is an important part of overseas study. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce Edward Cornwallis, a historical figure who is very important to Halifax. If you often go shopping in Inside Superstore, you may not be unfamiliar with his looks. One of his statues just stands in the center of the plaza there. He was born on March 5, 1730. Edward was a member of the aristocratic Cornwallis family. He participated in the Battle of Fontenoy during the War of the Austrian Succession in 1745. In the war, his commander was killed. As a result, he became the new commander of his regiment. He organized a successful withdrawal action, promoted a lieutenant colonel of the 20th the same year. Cornwallis participated in the pacification of Scotland, including the near massacre at Culloden, before ill health compelled him to relinquish his command to Major James Wolfe. In 1748, the previous year he had been appointed a groom of the Royal Bedchamber, and in March 1749 he was promoted colonel. Cornwallis' career in Nova Scotia began on 21st June 1749. The British government appointed him as the governor of Nova Scotia and gave him the task of establishing Halifax, a new British colony, in order to fight against the French colony Louisbourg. The intentional problem facing Cornwallis after his arrival was the selection of the precise spot for the settlement, and this decision caused him no little difficulty. Commodore Charles Knowles, a former governor of Louisbourg, and Captain Thomas Durrell, who had charted parts of Nova Scotia, had recommended the high bluff overlooking Bedford Basin. But it was too far inland to suit Cornwallis. Some persons in England had suggested what is now Point Pleasant, at the mouth of the harbour. But Cornwallis rejected because of the stony soil and the likelihood of high seas in winter. He likewise turned down the suggestion of the Dartmouth side of the harbour because it could be accommodated for the higher ground opposite. In the end he himself chose the side of the hill on the west side of the bay, which accommodated the whole peninsula for the new settlement, named Halifax for the president of the Board of the Trade. In favor of the seat was the gentle slope of the hill, its good soil, the convenient landing place for small boats, and the excellent anchorage for large vessels. But Cornwallis' efforts were turned down by Mi'kmaq tribes. Most Mi'kmaq leaders in Nova Scotia sought against the treaty between Mi'kmaq in 1775 to establish Halifax unilaterally. The two parties had several firefights on this issue. In the view of Cornwallis, the act of Mi'kmaq was no doubt against Britain. After firefights, Cornwallis made proclamation of offering rewards for scalps of Mi'kmaq fighters. A banquet was later offered for Mi'kmaq women and children to be taken prisoners in March 1750, but it didn't work out as expected. In March 1751, Cornwallis increased rewards for scalps of Mi'kmaq fighters, but such an increasing just brought one scalp within the next 4 months. The conflict culminated in 1751. His appointment was just 2 or 3 years, and his health had been poor. But he couldn't develop the colony according to his will, which might accelerated his desire to go back to Britain. In October 1752, he left Halifax. Cornwallis served as a governor of Gibraltar from June 1761 to January 1776, when he died at the age of 63. Cornwallis is remembered in the naming of rivers, parks, streets, towns, and buildings in Nova Scotia. However, the appropriateness of prominent memories to Cornwallis has recently drawn controversy despite his significance to provincial and national history. In the elegant shows made by Daniel Poon and journalist June Tetry, Cornwallis should not be given such prominent recognition because he wanted to kill all the Micmac and permitted brutality towards Scots. In June 2011, acting upon a motion by Micmac Representative Kirko Original, the Halifax Regional School Board renamed Cornwallis Junior High School to Halifax Central Junior High to remove Cornwallis' name. So this is an interview about local people's different opinions about Cornwallis.
And today's protest has been largely peaceful. There's been a smudging ceremony and a drumming ceremony, but one man did show up. He clearly wanted to aggravate the crowd and cause trouble. So take a look at this small confrontation that happened earlier this morning.
It's been 250 years, and they still have an issue.
It's high time we dealt with the issue.
400 years, you have dealt with it.
We haven't.
We give them money, help them.
Why is it okay?
We give them money. We gave them the reserves. Why are we talking about the broken trees?
Okay, so if you see behind me what we're seeing, this is a huge moment for the Indigenous communities in Halifax. They have agreed to cover the statue of Cornwallis. Many people cheering it on. There's a crowd. There's now a couple hundred people here to witness this. So this is happening instead of them physically.
Opposite the Canadian National Railway Station is the statue of Edward Cornwallis in Cornwallis Square. The statue was made by J. Massey Rand and unveiled on June 22, 1931, on the 192nd anniversary of Cornwallis' arrival to Halifax. In the past 20 years, the existence of the statue in the public space in Halifax has generated significant controversy. Some people think it should be removed from the park, and some don't. In addition, statue of Cornwallis is often vandalized, often with the red paint symbolizing the alleged blood on his hands. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you can learn something from it. Here are some of the materials we used in this video. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Have a nice